What are you doing?
I'm just reading here. This has a curb weight of over 4,300 pounds.
4,300 pounds?
4,300 pounds.
What? Wait, wasn't the last one like 3,600?
Yeah, and I'm trying to find it.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's the hybrid system, whatever?
No, this isn't the hybrid.
Oh.
Pure bi-turbo V8.
Okay. Well, it does have all-wheel drive.
Yeah, sure. It has all-wheel drive.
Yeah, well, actually, a 911 is all-wheel drive, so
exactly.
Obviously that doesn't account for...
I can taste it.
Oh my...
Oh.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
Oh.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
I guess that accounts for some of the weight.
Hey, Mercedes, are you okay?
I am now.
You're watching Throttle House. I'm Thomas.
And I'm James. And this is the new AMG GT 63.
But why would you buy one when for less than the price of the new C63, you can have one of these? It's a real sports car.
Well, Thomas, maybe because you want more of everything. More livability. This new second generation GT has more room inside, more trunk space, more seats if you so choose. It also has lifestyle and performance upgrades like a 4MATIC Plus all-wheel drive system, rear wheel steer, front axle lift. And yeah, it costs $1,000.
James, be honest. How much is it?
Well, it depends how you spec it.
No, be honest.
Okay, well, it starts at 175 US for the 63, but this one is spec'd to just over 200,000. But it's also got newer tech, and fulfilling the wishes of a long line of AMG villains that came before it, it has more power. Dum 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 dum. Okay, let's start with the launch control that I will never, ever get tired of. On the screen. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Oh yeah, that's quick. And that's because this is the big boy, the 63. Well, actually, it's not the biggest boy. There's an SE63 Performance coming soon, but that's a plug-in hybrid, and we all know that plugs are for butts. And even though this does have a fat arse in multiple different ways, it does not need a plug to power that bi-turbo V8. An engine that we've seen many times in multiple forms, and in this form it makes 577 horsepower. And according to this screen, it hits 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 3.2 seconds. So call that a 3.1 0 to 60, I think that's the claim time. There is a 55 trim of this that has the same bi-turbo V8, because the 53s are inline sixes and 55s are V8s. So somewhere in between 53 and 55, it gains 2 cylinders. This is too fast for the road. It is absolutely bonkers rapid. And in this mode, it makes absolutely thunderous sound that Thor would be proud of. Admittedly, with a little bit of an assist, a lot of bit of an assist, from this Burmester sound system. It burbles, and I think that's just a theatre that an AMG absolutely needs. We've now shown in a straight line that this gets beaten by an R8 and a 911 turbo and an M8. However, what it lacks in a car length on a quarter mile, it makes up for in theatre. An M8 wishes that it had this transmission. This has a 9-speed multi-clutch. And yeah, that means that around town, it can be a bit jerky in comfort mode. But the flip side of that is it's so much more exciting to operate than the inertness that is that ZF transmission that BMW are putting in every single M car right now. So now the GT gets 4MATIC Plus. So it's that 4-wheel drive system that can decouple the rear and you can do crazy drifts if you want. But for the rest of the time, you have optimum confidence putting that power down. And I do. In so many ways, this is a fantastic car. It's definitely more GT than it's ever been. It's definitely gained some weight. And that is a big shame. And honestly, you can feel that. And I'm not talking about the handling, because it turns in so confidently. But that extra weight manifests in a few negative ways, of course. First of all, this is quite highly sprung, even in comfort mode. The body control is very good. It's very planted. But the sort of cracks and bumps in the road, it feels like someone's punching the underbody of the car in a not so nice way. The sounds are deep, they're uncomfortable, and yeah, over really mixed ground. In race mode, it's completely unbearable. It just turns you into a bit of a bobblehead. The other difference, which I definitely feel in this, is the center of gravity. Sitting in this car, I could genuinely fool myself into thinking I'm in an E63 sedan. This feels a lot more top-heavy than it should. So, amazing acceleration, brilliant sounds, great transmission for performance driving, insane grip, turns in beautifully, ride is too harsh, and center of gravity isn't there. But have I shown you the race start? Let me show you again, but this time with a very familiar Ancestor, and in this moment, enemy. Okay, that does look good. Oh, it sounds good.
Oh, oh my God, that revs better than that one. That has some sort of a stupid limiter on it. This sounds amazing.
All right, there's definitely a race here, but I have power to all 4 wheels. So I'm gonna win the race. That's my plan. I'm gonna win the race.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And I'm off!
Come on, put the power down.
Oh, I'm flying. That is such a fun launch control.
I just don't have a chance.
And there goes the wing.
It's okay though, because it sounds really good. Woo-hoo. Oh yes.
That seatbelt does not give up until you come off the throttle. Oh, it throttles you until you stop throttling it. I kind of like it in like a BDSM kind of way. You were never gonna have the dig.
No, but I think I want to do a roll because all-wheel drive is for WRXs and stuff. This is a real sports car.
That weighs about half a Miata less. So that should help you too. There's
right.
definitely a race in the
There's
roll
definitely
race.
a race for sure. Woo, roll time, let's do it.
3, 2, 1, go!
Down. Come on, lightweight.
Oh, that's close. Oh, I'm just edging ahead.
Come on.
Oh, he's really staying with me.
Nope. Not quite.
That's pretty damn close, that.
All right, listen. For being an entirely new generation of car, that is nowhere near fast enough compared to this. Like, if this was a half-mile race, I'm concerned I'd give you a go. Yeah.
I won.
Yes, you technically won.
It won.
Yeah.
And I believe it was Patrick Stewart that said whether you win by an inch or a mile, it's a win.
Let it be so.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna take us out on the road. I kind of want to familiarize myself.
Okay.
All right, I'd like to direct your attention away from the fact that I'm wearing different clothes and this is definitely a different day, and onto the fact that I've been sleeping on the AMG GT. Because this is an absolutely brilliant sports car. And these days, it's well over $100,000 cheaper than that new one that James is in. This one just sold at Apex Motorcars here in Toronto for the equivalent of about 60 grand US. So it would be easy to assume it's just an older, crappier, heavily depreciated version of its successor, Mercedes' new AMG GT. After all, they're meant to be pretty much the same car, right? Wrong. Now, I know they look the same, but in a few very important ways, they're fundamentally different. For example, the old GT has a dry sump system. That means the oil box that holds all the oil for the engine isn't underneath the engine. It's off to the side. So the engine can be mounted lower. Better center of gravity. It's actually very obvious when you have the engine side by side that the new one is quite a bit higher. Also, the transmission is at the back because it's a transaxle. A little bit more grip in the rear, better weight distribution. But there's another advantage to that. Since the transmission isn't directly behind the engine, they were able to not only mount the engine lower, it's also further back. And all that means that this is a really special sports car to drive. It feels like a sports car. That's what it is. It's so much more sports car than it is Grand Tour. It's stiff, it's balanced, it's low, it's... That weight distribution is everything. It's everything. You feel it in the front end. Those front tires are not having to do the job of lug a heavy engine around through a corner. The front end feels light and delicate. I can point it where I want it to go. And everything is communicated with me so well. And when you do get it fully loaded up, the rear slipping is communicated so perfectly. Partially because this is a very stiff car, and partially because I'm seated so far back close to the rear, I feel everything. And the steering, since the bulk of this car is carried over from the SLS AMG, which is a legendary car now, we've got hydraulic steering, which means I can feel everything. The steering isn't actually heavy at all, but that makes sense because it's communicating exactly what the tires are doing, which is being under not a lot of stress because they don't have to haul an engine with them when they turn around a corner. So it feels light on entry. Then when you load the tires, the weight builds and there's feedback. It's excellent. It actually has old 911 vibes. Under throttle, you almost feel the steering go a little bit light. And then as you brake and load it into a corner, oh, there it is. Ah, it's so good. And then there's the engine. It's a monster. It is. These AMG engines have always been absolute hammers, and I love it. And this has the same gearbox as the SLS AMG, but they tweaked it a little bit, so the shifts are lightning quick as you'd need them to ever be. And the hot V configuration, those turbos right in the V of the engine, means that there's almost no lag. Foot here, foot down, foot all the way down. It's awesome, it really is. So that's it, the engine, the transmission, the weight distribution, the fundamental design of this car. It's such a slam dunk for this price, seriously. The SLS AMG has not depreciated that much. Maybe it's gone up in value, actually. This has depreciated, and it's just such a weapon. It's such a fun car for this amount of money. And it is a genuine sports car. Make no mistake, you make a race car out of a car like this. With an engine set up like that, a transmission back there, this is what race cars are made of, and they have been. That new one is just kind of a poser. An extremely quick poser. It's actually extremely quick. The AMG GT63 on the track is simply a machine for lap times. It generates crushing grip and never seems to miss out on 1 ounce of traction coming out of a corner with that all-wheel drive system. As a driver, I wasn't really aware of what everything it was doing, and it didn't really communicate much to me. It just sort of did it. It is a very confident car to drive though, and it sort of reassures you that it's got you covered in a corner. Mercedes has done an insane job controlling and masking its massive curb weight. However, you can't hide that weight under braking, and that's where it was the most obvious. And as a result, after only a couple laps, the brakes were starting to feel a bit squidgy. Anyway, let's watch the rest of the lap. And I did take the old AMG GT around the track, but as usual, used cars don't get times on the leaderboard because we just can't account for the car being in perfect lap time setting condition. For example, this one wasn't on the OEM tire. But I did find that it was absolutely excellent around the track, perfectly balanced and very playful. It really does feel like a totally different car to the new one. Okay, you ready for a lap time?
Oh, yes.
All right, we'll do the lap time first, and then right after that, I'll have a really hard time explaining why this is actually a sports car and this isn't.
Well, hang on.
No, just trust me. I'll do the lap time first, and then will hang on me. You ready?
Can hang on you? Yeah. Wait, can I guess?
Yeah, sure.
Given your tone
Yeah.
and the performance I know this has,
Yes.
I'm going to guess 1:10:9.
You're not even close.
How's that possible?
You're not even close, actually, in the world of
Is it
racing.
much worse?
No.
All right. Actually, I'm nervous now.
Yeah, go ahead. Just do one more guess. One more guess for me.
Well, what's M5 CS is 110, pretty flat.
Yeah.
I mean, proportionally, yeah, it could be faster than M5 CS, I guess. Okay, let's go 109.
Okay, I'll kill you here. It's a 108.93. 108.93.
What more need be said?
So much more.
That's an insane number.
That is an absolutely insane number. Okay, so here's well, first of all, as we say, you have to account for a little bit of differences between temperatures in the day and the track. The M5 CS should be quicker than this.
Yes.
Right?
It was a perfect condition day, the
day.
track had one of its 2 biannual sweeps.
That morning. And this is on the brand new
S5.
SPSS5. So it's arguably probably a slightly stickier tire than the PS4s.
No, all the AMG fans right now are already like with their flag going,
yeah.
AMG GT63. Well, there's no S, but yeah.
So here's what I think happened.
Yeah.
This car comes from the GTR school of using weight to generate grip.
Okay.
Right? And the all-wheel drive system is fantastic. It allowed me to have precisely 0 fun at any time. Every single time I tried to use the throttle or anything to rotate the car, it was just 9, 9, 9, 9.
No, it sounds like you're in the correct mode for putting down a lap time. If you want to decouple the rear and then have fun, one can.
You can, of course, but at the same time, it felt so engineered to do that. It wasn't a joyful
AMG.
Experience. It is, yes. But no, back up. An AMG should be like this. It should be a little bit stupid, a little bit silly, a little bit tire-killy and angry, and arguably not that good at the track until you get to the GTRs and that sort of thing, right?
Yes. So
Yes.
I think what's happened here and what we've discovered throughout this whole video is that Mercedes have made a different philosophical vehicle with this.
Very much different.
However,
Yeah.
BMW used to be the one that split the difference between AMG hammer madness
Yeah.
and Porsche boring precision.
Yes.
So this now has joined BMW in that halfway of like,
Yeah.
okay, I can put down an absolutely sick lap time
No, I think
without
you're
being
right.
a black series,
Yeah.
and it's still way more fun than like a 911 turbo.
Yeah, fair enough. I would wager though that if you put this car on the same tires, gave it the same levels of mechanical grip, that the lap time would be extremely similar for being a rear-wheel drive
But you
car.
credited the four-wheel drive system as part of that lap time.
It absolutely is, yes. No question. No, I cannot argue with numbers as much as I want to.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to feel and engagement and fun, it's just a different car. It's a different car.
I don't know when the video is coming out, but we've also put a lap time down of the M8 comp, which took this in a straight line. If you haven't seen our drag race video, that is
Yeah.
a huge spoiler.
Yeah.
And so I'm not going to spoil that lap time yet.
Yeah.
But the M8 put a lap time down, and
It
it's
did.
very interesting how it compares to that.
Yes, yes.
Yes, go on.
Okay, here
Let's
we go.
hear the love letter.
First of all, this is the way that you buy this car, okay? I don't care about the GTCs and the GTRs and the green and the
Asterisk.
no, none of
Asterisk,
it.
you haven't driven
None of
them
it.
yet.
I don't care because this car belongs in coupe form in this silver, this matte. This is the exact spec this car belongs in. Look how stupidly long this hood is.
It's very stupid.
I love
very
it
stupid.
so much.
It's iconic. It's
It is.
special. It's unique. Nothing has this shape. When it came
No.
out, it was the weird thing you saw in traffic that was like, whoop.
Yeah. You see one go by, you're like, what? Oh.
But that's part of that SLS lineage.
Yes, it is.
That this now has lost a bit.
Yes.
This, I think, is still absolutely beautiful.
No, it is.
It's just more generically beautiful. It doesn't have that same profile that this has.
No, no matter, they did their best and they did a very good job styling this to look like that, but underneath, fundamentally, it can't look like this. The hood can't, look how much lower the hood is.
I know.
It can't be that low. This is a dry sump.
And from
right?
the very, very front,
Yeah.
it looks all SLS.
Oh, it's just perfect,
With
right?
the way the bonnet goes out, and here
Yeah.
this just sort of looks. I mean, a lot of people have said that from the rear
This-
three-quarter, this is 911, and I see it.
There's 911 for sure in the
Yeah.
back. But yeah, no, just the way that the rear axle's placed and the wheelbase and everything, this had to have a little bit more junk in its trunk than this one.
Yeah. I think the wheels look beautiful. I think the wheel
Yep.
design of AMGs are always awesome.
They look
I
good.
think the fact that there's fake vents going on, significant amounts of fake vents.
Wait, really? I didn't even see
These
that.
are fake.
Why?
Those are fake.
Why?
On a full fat AMG.
Also, what's up with the half carbon fiber thing?
No.
What's going on? Why not just finish that little bit right there?
finished.
What's this little strip here? Just do that whole bit in carbon fiber. It's a bit weird.
Yeah, well, it
This
saves money. Saves money.
should have saved weight. It's where they should have put the savings.
Yeah. I don't know. Light technology's come along a long way. They've given this the old Black Series grille where there's the AMG grille and then more space.
Oh, yeah.
So from the front, it's got that. It feels like it's borrowed from the old Black Series. But yeah, no question, that's absolutely beautiful. More iconic shape.
Yeah.
I think this is still absolutely beautiful. It's, just
It's still a great looking car. One thing Mercedes is still doing right.
yes.
The one thing the one thing Mercedes is still doing right is styling. Even the C63 looks really good.
It looks great. It looks fantastic.
I really like the look of it. Should we check out the interiors?
Yeah, let's go old first.
Are you sure? Because it's all going to be downhill from there, son.
No, it's not.
Get in. Okay. Listen. Okay?
You'll hear nothing from me.
This is what you call designed interior. Someone, at some point, it makes me feel like there was a sketch by an artist. Do you know what I
They
mean?
all have artist sketches, but this is just... You telling me there's not a sketch of that somewhere?
No, AI designed that one. A German AI designed that one. Anyway, we'll get to it in a second. But this, take this piece for example.
Yeah.
Right?
This is it. This is the magic.
Absolutely
I saw this.
stunning.
I saw this in Geneva in 2015. I think.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting in it and staying in it.
Yeah.
It felt like it's a spaceship. This
Yes.
is full spaceship.
Yeah. It's just like the way that it's carved and sculpted around the buttons. By the way, that is just the lamest start-stop button of all time. That is a keep your engine off at the stop, on at the stoplights, turn off.
Not very
thing.
exciting.
It's not good enough.
It doesn't match the theatre of everything else going on here.
No, it doesn't.
But like you got the carbon fiber, woven carbon fiber here, the carbon fiber.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
There's even this carbon fiber bar going
Isn't that
through
nice?
here.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, Alcantara on the roof. Actually, a fair amount of headroom for how low the car is.
Yeah.
And just some really good leather stitching everywhere. Every single thing is stitched with the red and the thing and the contrast and the that. No, I love it. Also, just like the SLS, right? I don't know what they're for yet. I haven't searched it enough.
We said so you can still see the traffic light if you're blocking the sun.
I guess so. It's just a cool cockpit. It's so low. Everything's so low, yet I fit. It's just well designed.
It's also aging very well. It's not that old. I mean, 8 years, 9 model years, whatever it is now. It's not that old. The gauge cluster's starting to look dated, and this thick tablet thing is now sort of behind the times. But beyond that,
and a lack of Apple CarPlay is a thing.
Oh right, that must have been a year or two later.
Yeah, you can add it, but it's annoying apparently and expensive, and I've heard that it doesn't always work very well based on what the owners have said. But I mean, I'm not sure that I care that much because this is a sports car as opposed to an everyday car.
And for sub 6 figures,
you're getting a lot of car.
Very fancy.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's go see what it looks like when you go way above 6 figures beginnings. I mean, it's still 6 figures.
It's still 6.
No soft close.
No.
Which
Why?
No, because it's all sports car.
No, shut up. It's not.
That lap time is the biggest full stop to anything.
I think that the whole track was downhill or something that day. The earth shifted.
All right, so quite wonderful in here in many ways.
Yeah. Really like cool design, nice stitching, and I would say like arguably a little bit better build quality than we've come to expect recently from Mercedes.
Yeah, it feels very solid.
Right? It feels a lot more solid.
And this has the performance seats. Yeah. And it's another option, but they are
I really like them
very
actually.
comfortable.
They're really,
and obviously
really nice.
they assisted you with an insane lap time.
Yeah, they held me in.
And this car, unlike that one, can come with 2+2 configuration.
Right, because it's not a sports car.
No, because this doesn't have that option, that $2,500 option.
Oh, so it is a sports car.
So it's a sports car.
How much would it weigh with the seats? They've got to add, like, have you ever picked up a car seat?
More.
Because of safety and stuff, there's like, there's probably another 100 and something pounds in them, at least. So, wow, this really could weigh as much as a Humvee. That's cool. Anyway.
It's got some nice things, it's got front axle lift system this as an option. And that's been really very useful. It actually doesn't have terrible clearance. Like my driveway would normally scrape.
Yep. Yeah,
but
no, that's fair.
The front axle lift has a GPS thing, so it knows when it gets to my house, it lifts up. That's kind of fun.
Yeah. No, I actually like sitting in here too. And I think because, in a weird way, because the hood isn't as low as that one, because that is a dry sump, I kind of feel like I'm in this, like, I really feel low in a cool cockpit way. I mean, so it's like a positive and a negative,
Visibility is very good. Still beautifully stitched leather.
Yep.
Carbon fiber everywhere.
However, I just want to,
modernized with the new steering wheel.
That's good, it's great. However, if you got out of a C63 in the year that car came out, and then into that car, what would you do?
You'd be like, wow, this is different.
This is different and on another level. And answer this question truthfully. If you didn't know what the interior of this and the current gen C63 looked like, I blindfolded you and put you in each car, would you be able to tell which one you're in?
This has a nice housing around the gauge cluster.
Oh yeah, that'll do it. You wouldn't.
Slightly squashed, but
sure.
No is the answer.
No is the answer.
This screen has homogenized the lineup in an annoying way.
It has, yeah, and just like, that's one of the problems, is that the lack of a need or a desire to do physical buttons has resulted in all interiors looking broadly the same, as opposed to, in that car, finding a fun way to put the different driving modes and exhaust buttons integrated into the car. We just get the same, it all looks the same in here.
I agree. I have to do, it has to be said though, I do get on with it very well. Like between the steering wheel buttons and the functionality of the screen and the fun different gauge clusters you can do.
Yep.
I haven't had any difficulty with it.
No.
So that's one benefit of it.
I agree.
Being the same.
No arguments that tech is good. However, we kind of realized something as we were researching this car. It's a bit of a confusing one for us because, well, obviously, as we've talked about ad nauseum, that car over there has transaxle and a dry sump. It's designed to be a sports car. It was fundamentally different. This car, underneath, is very similar to kind of all the other cars in Mercedes lineup.
Yes.
Right? To the point where we started looking at some dimensions and we realized something.
There is a car
Yeah.
that Mercedes made in the previous generation
Yes.
that, were it to be made today,
Yeah.
could resemble this quite strongly.
Yeah. And that car, it wouldn't be a transaxle.
No,
It wouldn't have a dry sump.
you wouldn't expect it to.
No.
No hybridization.
No. It would probably have a twin turbo V8, one would hope.
Yeah, that makes 500 and something horsepower.
Yeah.
It would probably have 4MATIC Plus because Mercedes give that to everything these days.
Yeah. And the previous version of that car was roughly the same size as this car.
Within an inch
Yeah.
of length.
So, you know, one could say that this particular car here, it is that car for twice the price.
A bit prettier.
Yeah. We brought something along to show what we mean. Do you want to do this bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. This part over here. There we go.
I saw this in Geneva in 2015 and it was a spaceship.
Let's start again.
Yeah.
Okay.